Hi, I'm back. I'm back. 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I'm going to test the screen and see if it works on here. If it doesn't, I'm going to put on the Prime Minister talking about what's going on with the war. Okay. Let me do that one first. Let me test the screen, make sure everything is good before I proceed, because this is kind of serious. It's very serious to the fact that how I'm hoping they're not hiding it as something else. I'm hoping my thing don't buffer, blitz out, and all that stuff. So let's see if it works. Hold on, where's the sound?
Nationals, because war, the rumors of wars. We say Trinidad is not a target. Tobago is not a target. So I totally disagree with the narrative out there by some, that we're exposing our nationals to danger. As Fabi said it earlier, there's war, there are rumors of wars. There is no war. T and T is not a target. The targets are narco traffickers, gun runners, human traffickers. Those are our targets.
Okay, so I'm gonna play what I just read a minute ago. Okay, let me play what I just read a minute ago before I proceed. Okay, because she said a lot more than that before. Is it even on? Hold on. Am I live or not live? I don't even know. Oh, I'm live. Okay, so let me play this one, what I just played just now from what I just did just a minute ago. They said that they were okay in the Caribbean. Could be wrong. Let me see. Let me find the part. The Prime Minister wrote on her official account on the X platform. Gang violence has equated into an open lawlessness on our streets with high-powered weapons unleashing daylight terror, confirming the lives of the law-abiding citizens. She said, adding that her government will continue to support the U.S. military action. She urged the citizens to remember the innocent lives lost to gun violence in Trinidad. Remembering their names, remembering their faces, the memories must fuel our national resolve to win the fight against organized crime. We must strengthen and modernize our crime-fighting capacity. These joint exercises with the United States are a critical step in enhancing the TTDF's relentless intelligence capacity and operational strength. Our partnership with the US has already achieved meaningful success, and together we will continue to press forward until we win the war on crime, which has plagued TNT and threatens stability across our region. May these exercises further our security, ushering in a safe, stronger Trinidad and Tobago. We promise to make TNT safe. We intend to deliver, she wrote. But Mandaro has warned that the military exercises in Trinidad are designed to seriously threaten the peace of Trinidad. Yeah, I believe that too. I believe that they said they are going to do it from Monday to Thursday. Well, the people of Trinidad will see if they continue to tolerate the use of their waters and land, Mandara declared. Foreign Chronicle Affairs Minister Sean Summers, speaking at the news conference here last week and said the exercises will be military to military engagement, allowing personnel from both countries to become familiar with each other's equipment, tactics, and techniques, adding that the exercise will challenge them as well as offering an opportunity to expand their expertise and professional development. So they're saying that they're going to teach the Trinidad military how to do stuff as well. So it's like an exchange. It's like an exchange kind of business then, isn't it? So he said that the training will take place across Trinidad and Tobago in both all urban and rural environments, with operations scheduled during the dusk after dark. So the political observers view the US presence in the Caribbean as part of Washington's effort to effect a regime change in Caracas on the degrees of dealing with the illegal drug trade. The US has sent its biggest carrier to grain forward into the Caribbean Sea as part of the campaign. Over the last week, the US Southern Command said that at the directions of the Secretary of War, Joint Task Force Southern Sphere conducted a legal kinetic strike on the vessel operated by terrorist operation. Intelligence. Do you want to hear more? You can go back to that one. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to play a video of what I just watched. Because the fisherman is worried. The fisherman is worried. So let me put up the screen. This is the one I was playing earlier anyway.
Over the past month, the United States stepped up operations against Venezuelan smuggling networks in the Caribbean. Several fast boats suspected of trafficking drugs were destroyed in international waters. But for fishermen in Trinidad, only 7 miles from Venezuela, those strikes felt far too close for comfort. This is the Gulf of Paria behind me. These islands over here are still part of Trinidad. This route that we're on right now in this boat is the route that smugglers take if they're bringing drugs or people or whatever across to Trinidad. So there's a heavy presence of the Coast Guard of the Trinidad and Tobago Armed Forces that patrols this area. But of course, most of the smuggling takes place late at night. The fishermen who fly these waters to just try to make a living are now being told not to go more than 2 kilometers from the shore for the time being, because they're all afraid of getting blown up.
I'm a fisherman for 28 years, fishing in Trinidad and Tobago waters. Yes, we are all.
Can you imagine, right? I get it. They want to stop the human trafficking, drugs, or whatever. But what they're doing now, they're disturbing, people earning on this this stretch of the sea, of the beach end. You know what I mean? Anyway, let me listen on.
Panicking. The Coast Guard say, well, 2 kilometers off the island, don't go that direction. But anywhere else up on the coast, this side we could fish. Venezuela is 7 miles away from Trinidad, very, very close. That you can look and see it. You can see a vehicle passing on the land. Foot is very close.
The fear is understandable. From Trinidad's western shores, you can actually see the lights of Venezuela at night, and any escalation between the two countries would hit here first. This is the island of Chacachacari. The land that you can see right off over there, about 7 miles away, is the closest point in Venezuela. So you can see why people in Trinidad are concerned about the conflict that might be brewing between the United States and Venezuela, simply because The Trinidadians know that wars have a way of spreading, and if they do, these people are not prepared for that in any way, shape, or form. The government here has a long history of working with the United States, most recently welcoming the USS Gravely for joint military training. That alliance has drawn sharp criticism from Venezuela, which responded by canceling oil contracts worth millions. But local journalists say the American presence is also choking off the flow of drugs and illegal migration across these waters.
It's very, very challenging for the fishermen who daily lives depend on fishing and whatnot. But at the end of the day, it has to be like that for now.
The increased patrols may have disrupted the drug trade, but they've also fueled political friction. Many in Trinidad worry their country could be drawn into the conflict.
So the ships and whatnot. Recently, we had a military exercise. Venezuelans are saying that is provocation. But you realize that the Maduro administration, they are targeting our government. They are calling the Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago a murderer, a terrorist, all sorts of things.
But after the Trump administration briefed Congress that the United States currently has no legal justification to strike inside Venezuela, lawmakers were told any direct action against the Maduro regime would require fresh legal.
Okay, let me see what else is about, yeah? Let's see what else is going on. Right, this why I might be a repeat of what I just said a minute ago, but, you know, the main idea is to cover all bases to find out exactly what is going on, right? Even though the news do not give you the exact correct information, right? Because they can hide, they can take away, and they add bits to it sometimes, right? Especially when it comes to stuff like this. So, yeah. So let me just play this side of it. Hold on.
Venezuela's Maduro denounces U.S. military drills in Trinidad and Tobago amid heightened tensions. By Michael Rios, Sophie Tano, Mary Trina Mina, and Mitchell McCluskey. USS Gravely, a U.S. warship, enters the port of Spain on October 26, 2025. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro criticized irresponsible plans for the United States to hold 5 days of military drills in Trinidad and Tobago beginning on Sunday. Supporters of the regime gathered on Saturday to watch Maduro's address Eastern Caracas neighborhood of Pater, where he called for vigilance and accused the U.S. of pursuing a criminal war. The people of Trinidad and Tobago will see if they continue allowing their waters and land to be used to gravely threaten the peace of the Caribbean, he said. On Thursday, Trinidad and Tobago's Attorney General was quoted by the Financial Times as saying that the U.S. would intensify exercises in the Twin Island nation, which sits a few miles off the coast of Venezuela. The announcement of the drills followed a move by the U.S. last month to send a guided missile destroyer to the country for training exercises, a step that nearby Venezuela denounced as a military provocation. Trinidad and Tobago's Foreign Minister Sean Sobers on Friday denied that next week's exercises would be a precursor to any potential U.S. military action near the country, particularly in Venezuela. While there are signs of unease globally over U.S. action in the region, the Caribbean nation's Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar has championed U.S. presence and has feuded with Maduro. Related article. Trump has suggested he's made a decision on Venezuela military operations. Here's what we know. The drills will include the U.S. Marine Corps' 22nd Marine Expeditionary Unit, already deployed in the region to support what Washington says is a mission to disrupt illicit drug trafficking in the Caribbean. The government of Trinidad and Tobago said the exercises would allow U.S. and its own troops to become familiar with each other's tactics and techniques, and that its forces would be trained by the Americans to deal with domestic issues such as drug-related crime and gang violence. In recent weeks, the U.S. has amassed its naval forces in the Caribbean, also bringing its largest warship, the USS Gerald R. Ford aircraft carrier, to the region. In response, Venezuela has said it is launching a massive mobilization of military personnel, weapons, and equipment in the Caribbean. This has raised fears that both the US and Venezuela may be preparing for a larger conflict. Possible land strikes. While the US has characterized its regional buildup of forces as aimed at combating drug boats, some experts have questioned why so much firepower is needed for this purpose. They have noted that USS Gerald R. Ford represents America's largest military presence in the region since its invasion of Panama in 1989. President Donald Trump has said he believes Maduro's days are numbered and that US land strikes on Venezuela are possible. CNN has also reported that earlier this week, Trump was presented with options for military operations inside Venezuela. Trump has yet to decide on how to proceed, but he has previously voiced reservations about taking military action meant to oust Maduro. Maduro recently urged the US to avoid conflict, telling CNN his message to Trump was yes peace, yes peace. He repeated these pleas during the address to his supporters on Saturday. While speaking
Let me test it out and see how far. What did you catch? Because it's a lot. They said a whole mouthful. They said too much. Let me see. See. Oh, yeah, see here. Let me see what you heard.
US warship. What Washington's.
Oh, it went off there. Okay.
Washington's warship. The US.
They're talking about the warship. So I'm on the thing about the warship right now. The warship that is close to Venezuela. That is close to Trinidad right now. Let me see before I project it. Hold on. Let me just see. Get through the adverts. Because they got the warships close to the island.
Has criticized joint naval exercises between U.S. and Trinidad and Tobago that are set to begin this weekend. The drills come as part of a U.S. military buildup in the Caribbean and follow a string of attacks on vessels it claims are smuggling drugs. In his address to supporters, Maduro also left aside the usual rhetoric and took a different, more musical approach.
The fishermen could be mistaken as well.
Imagine there's no heaven.
Venezuela's President Maduro takes an alternative approach to calling for de-escalation with the United States, using John Lennon's anthemic Imagine.
Imagine us people.
The song might call for the world to live as one, but the heightened military tensions in the Caribbean, including the USS Gerald Ford seen here in September, are anything but unifying. On Friday, The US released this footage of what it says is a, quote, lethal strike on a vessel involved in narcotics smuggling earlier this week.
Could be a fisherman, though.
It also announced it will conduct a new round of military exercises in the Caribbean, this time with Trinidad and Tobago, once again raising the ire of President Maduro.
The government of Trinidad and Tobago has once again announced irresponsible exercises, lending its waters off the coast of Venezuela for military drills, intended to threaten a republic like ours, which does not allow itself to be threatened by anyone.
Yeah, it is striking. Yep.
Speaking on Air Force One.
Yep. Venezuela is within striking distance of America. They can strike back. So scary for all of us innocent people just trying to live life here. Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Because they're saying, oh yeah, they're taking out boats of narcotics, right? Okay, I get it. Yes, obviously, right. You're trying the so-called war on drugs, but the people there might be innocent fishermen. That's just going back to their daily life, and then they're caught up in between that craziness. You know what I mean? You're bringing war to shores to a country that is quite. Not only that, they're dividing Venezuela and Trinidad. Venezuela and Trinidad normally is quite peaceful together, as far as I know. So, yes, it's causing problems where there shouldn't be. Really, I mean, like you can take it out another way, but yeah, it's a scary world, man.
Donald Trump told reporters a decision could come soon on whether to take military action against Venezuela.
Tell us what your next steps will be. But can you say if you've made up your mind on what you'd like to do as far as action?
I sort of have made up my mind, you know. I mean, I can't tell you what it would be, but I sort of made up my mind.
Trump's mounting force in the region has faced pushback from US allies. At a G7 meeting in Canada, France's foreign minister said the targeting of boats in the Caribbean disregarded international law.
This evening and tomorrow.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio also had to deny reports that the UK has stopped sharing intelligence on suspected drug-carrying vessels with the US over fears the information could be used in lethal military strikes.
See? Because even the UK have stopped sharing information. Isn't that interesting? Okay, when the UK and Britain, UK and America is normally ring on finger. Interesting, eh? So that means the citizens of Trinidad will be in danger for stupidness. And then some places are not equipped for war. That's the thing. Some places ain't equipped for war. And they're bringing that onto their shores. No, when I tell you, he is one of the horsemen, you know. Think his joke. Look, so the Venezuelan declares Trinidad Tobago Prime Minister. Hold on. I want to see if I can find her secretary, because her secretary actually talks about it. Hold on, let me find the other guy. We have to look in a little deeper into what's going on. So as this been going on for a long time, so from October to 26, this has been going on. It's just madness, absolute madness. Hi TJ. They have shown no evidence over those unalivings on the boats. I don't think drugs have anything to do with what's happening. Our government is very corrupt right now. It's exhausting. Yeah, I'm telling you. It's like, hi TJ. Yes, it's very. What's wrong with my thing? It is very disturbing how easy you can start war for absolutely nothing at all. You know, yes, I get it. There is human trafficking going on, drugs, all sorts of things going on, and you continue to show disregard for the people that's living in a country, a small island of Trinidad. Trinidad is a small island with a little sister island next door, and then you go and you consistently go and you do craziness. Why? The lives that be lost, it'll be coronage. It ain't even gonna be normal. Like, to me, it's just the amount of crazy, even over here. Like what I said, I hate talking about politics, right? I hate talking about politics because it gets so personal. People get personal when it comes to politics, and it gets to such a level, and you can see the BS what's going on, but people can't see the BS what's going on because they're caught in a cult. Yeah. Oh yes, and it can also be it is a distraction, but this is really people's lives in the West Indies that's going to be taken out for no reason. These are going to be innocent people on the shores of Trinidad and Tobago. Again, I get it. There is a problem. Yes, there is a problem. There is a problem, right? But it's the way you're doing it. Like, you're bringing warships, military there. I'm like, wow. When I saw one video, I haven't even had time to even watch the video. Let me go find it. Let me go find the video. I'm coming, TJ. Let me go find the damn video because I have it in my on my post. And I was meant to watch it from how long ago? Because I want to find out what is going on. I said, hang on, what's going on? What's going on? Literally. Let me find it. Because it makes like you're gonna unalive people for no reason. For your madness. Hold on, let me find it. Because I know I saved it on one of my posts. Just makes no sense whatsoever. There's enough blood spilt on a daily basis, and then you want to go spill extra blood somewhere else? Where is it? Oh my gosh, where did I put it? I remember looking at it earlier. Where is the thing, man? Oh, that's right. No, I can't even find it now. Because I saw it pop up on my page. I was like, wow, really, what's going on with Trinidad? Not knowing it's a lot deeper than what it is. Oh, I can't even find it. Can't find it. I can't find it. See, I'm looking for it and I can't find it. Okay, let me see what you guys are saying. Hold on. I think it's freezing on me. Hold on. What's going on? Excuse me. Okay. Trump secretly gave Venezuela over $1 billion. The US was the biggest exporter of soybeans to Venezuela. America is a bully. This is just a distraction to keep us off the fact American farmers are getting screwed over. The world is a stage. America just has the louder mic. True, mate, it's true, but the strange thing is that how is when you're going in, right? Because remember, there was a war against drugs in I can't remember, the 80s. You can correct me. Was it the 80s or 70s? I can't remember. He's actually using the same format that what he was using when he was around, when I'm trying to think of a prominent time, Central 5 time, somewhere around there, where there was war and drugs and war and this and war and that, yeah? But you're going in. This is a small country. Trinidad is a small country. It's a small country. When you look across the sea, as the man show you, Venezuela is a stone throw away from Trinidad. So do they not think that how when you're going to deal with that country, do you not think it's going to come back to this country? That's what I'm saying. This makes no sense. I mean, the Trinidad Prime Minister is in agreement with it. Yeah, that's all and good. You're in agreement with it. But then there's innocent people that's going to be caught up in it. There's always casualties of war in everything. Those are the vulnerable people. When we see it in Palestine, we see it in all them other places. You are going to cause a catastrophe. That's what you're going to do for your ignorance. I'm not saying, no, don't go against the narcos. No one's not saying don't go against the narcos. Obviously, right, there is a problem, right? But in doing that, you are going to unalive a lot of people, children, people living there. I have family in Trinidad, so I could talk. I have people in Tobago and Trinidad. So they're gonna get caught up in all this foolishness, so that you can show that you have a bigger, as the other could say, cucumber than the others. It doesn't make any sense. Now, England is saying that how they ain't giving you no more secrets and this and that and the other and the other. But yes, the world is a stage. Well, when you say that, TJ, it is a stage. But at the same time, when it's involving people getting unalive for no reason, that's when he gets lost in transit with me, because we see what happens when people get caught up in war situations. It's never good. War is not a good thing in any line of thing, in any situation, you know. Right, let me hear what the Prime Minister have to say. Hold on. Because she's saying, oh no, it's not so. It's all rumors of war. It's fake news. It ain't fake news when it's on your doorstep. It's right on your blinking doorstep. You'll say it's fake news, is this, is that. Hold on, let me see how far apart. I might be late behind these things. Hold on. I'm a bit late. I think this is the same one I just watched. Okay. This is the same one I just watched. Just a while ago. When it's involving innocent life, that's when it's serious. That means you're prepared to sacrifice whoever just to get a couple people, or how many people, because we know is the narcos has been doing, the cartels and whoever has been doing their thing from how long? Just now, they probably right they've been going to and from the shores or whatever they're doing for a long time, right? A warship. You think a big warship is gonna do something, right? Because narcos, they can buy all them things there. They can buy rocket launchers. They can do all that. So when you bring something big, they're gonna bring something bigger. Do you not think that how the people is not going to get the worst of it? I don't know. I could be talking stupid. You could tell me I'm talking foolishness. Tell me if I'm talking sense or stupidness, because it is ridiculous. Like I said, he is the god of war already. I don't see who Mr. Trump is already. Hold on. I didn't even share it. She did say a little more than this, but this is the one I was sharing briefly. Hold on, because I was testing out before. Here's a better one of it.
Narco traffickers, gun runners, human traffickers, those are our jobs.
Yeah.
And you have seen some interviews I gave, some responses I gave to the media, carrying some of it, showing that there has been the drug decrease in Trinidad, the prices for the narcos, prices increasing, because why? Because we're hitting them out with most in their pockets.
Some are saying that you are trying to separate from CARICOM and have...
Nothing is further. Nothing is further.
We
remain members of the CARICOM. I have no intention as a prime minister of a country, the head of my government, of leaving CARICOM. So there's always some mischief there. What I did say, and I'll repeat, is we must also look to others. We have to look to others in the international arena. So, for example, we are looking to the UAE, we are looking to Qatar, we're looking to Bahrain, we are looking to Europe. We cannot keep closed doors and expect things to change. So CARICOM will remain as a bloc, we will remain as part of the bloc, but we have to open our wings, we have to fly, we have to go elsewhere, we have to get investors. CARICOM may have investors, but they need investors just as we do.
Yes, you need investors. You do need investors, but you have to be careful who you're investing with, right? You have to be very careful who you are investing with, right? Trinidad also has oil. I think they're an oil country as well. So there could be loads of reasons why the US is doing what they're doing as well, because they're doing this because of oil. You know, they always go to countries for resources and certain stuff. So you have to think about that as well. Yes, deal with the narcotics and the whatever, yeah. Stay with the CARICOM. The CARICOM, I forgot what the CARICOM is again. I think it's about the Caribbean countries. I think it's a union of Caribbean countries that's together and they pull together. Right? That's why Barbados became a republic, they became a republic a couple years ago. Right? Because all this, what's going on, right? But I don't think Barbados was being all this mix up. Right? There is a future, yes, you can have a future for the country, but you don't do it at a cost of people's life. What you're doing is at a cost, like right now it's all nice and comfortable and everybody lying in bed with each other and everybody's nice and until when it gets to when they decide, okay, right, we're ready to take over this country or whatever, you know how it goes. They go through the back door. They bring certain things to the country because they think the country cannot provide for itself. The country is incapacitated. That's how war works. And now the Venezuelan prime minister, whoever he is, I've never heard of him. Funny enough, I'm gonna go find out who he is now. He's upset. He's upset now. He's thinking, okay, Trinidadians will go over there. I don't want to be part. You know what I mean? It can turn into a situation. You have to think about the people. The fishermen that is on the shores are important to the country because they bring in the fish to the country. If they are striking people, fair enough, if they are striking the narcos, that's different. When you're striking an innocent fisherman that is going out to fish, is when it comes to issue, right? And we might hear about an innocent fisherman getting striked and he's just doing his daily liberty. He ain't doing that and he's just doing what he does normally. You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense. Right? So she's saying, oh, people lying on me. Well, maybe you must have said something because sometimes, yes, people play Chinese whispers, but at the same time, right, if the Chinese whispers is true, then it's something else. Okay? So I just thought I look at this because I see it, but I can't find that video that I saved because I wanted to look at that video that I saved on my post because it was important as well. Let me see if I can find it. I'll go and look again. I'm just like, you don't do all that. That'll cost the people life. Oh, here it is. It's right in front of my face. Let me see. Let me put on this one. This is the one I was gonna look at when I find time to look at it. But I'm gonna look at it now. Sorry, excuse me. Oh, it's taking so much. Hold on. Okay. Oh, bringing in trouble onto something that don't need no trouble.
Exercises with the United States, the Marine Corps, the 22nd Marine Expeditionary Unit, they are referred to or called in the United States. So these exercises will run across Trinidad and Tobago, in the urban areas, in the rural areas, in the daytime, dusk, nighttime. They are running these exercises throughout Trinidad and Tobago. I need to look into the last time this happened, but in any case, it's happening now. And whilst the government is saying this is about security and training, the timing, as you know, the regional tensions and the history behind these kinds of arrangements raise some serious questions. So tonight I want to talk about it. So stay tuned to the end, hopefully, and watch to the end. Let's break this down, because this for me is history really repeating itself in the Caribbean, in Trinidad and Tobago. And I'm going to tell you exactly why. So let's start here. This is not the first time Trinidad has pulled or have been pulled into a foreign military agenda. This is not the first time. Let's go back as far as World War I and World War II. Let's dissect this and let's break this down. So over 1,600 soldiers from Trinidad and Tobago were sent to fight in wars that were not ours. Wars that were not ours. That's World War I and II. And we're drawing parallel to what's happening today. So they fought against, or fought under the British Empire against Germany. Many died. Those who returned came back to a country that treated them as less than second-class citizens in the nation they risked their lives to defend. Yes, racism was rampant even during the war. Black soldiers were not allowed to serve on the front line. Now, just days ago, on the 11th day of the 11th month of the 11th hour, we stood and we remembered them. Remembrance Day, formerly Armistice Day, if you know your history. Now, here we are again, being positioned next to a superpower, preparing for conflict literally in our backyard. And the parallel here, no one's drawing the comparison to what's happened in the past, but I'm going to do that here on 10 for you tonight, or this evening, wherever you're watching from. So according to the announcement, these exercises are to make stronger Trinidad's defense capacity and help our soldiers learn US equipment and US tactics and combat methods, etc., etc. But here's the critical part. Here is the critical part. Training of this scale with a US Marine Expeditionary Unit, as they're called, in a region where tensions with Venezuela are rising, as you know, this is not normal. This is only going to inflame things and make it worse for us in Trinidad and Tobago. Venezuela are looking at exactly what's happening in Trinidad right now, as you know, and this is not going to make it any better. This isn't just friendly drills, by the way. This is strategic positioning to attack Venezuela, essentially, because right now Venezuela is, as we know, they're on high alert. Russian advisors are present. Their military is mobilizing right now. Their militias are mobilizing right now. And now the US Marines are training on our soil in Trinidad and Tobago. Make it make sense, 10 audience. So that makes Trinidad and Tobago a forward military staging point. Whether we like it, whether we admit it or not, this is who we are right now. This is only going to antagonize Venezuela. And like I said to you on many videos previously, when America leaves, ups and leaves, which they will do, we will be left on our own to defend ourselves. We are incapable. So let's be honest. Let's be honest, 10. Let's be honest, 10 audience. If a conflict breaks out, do you really believe the United States will fight it alone? Or will Trinidad's young men and women be pulled into something we did not start and do not benefit from? We certainly will not benefit from this. Because history shows, 10 audience, something very clearly here. This is what history tells us. Something clear. Great powers use smaller nations as buffers, as testing grounds, and cannon fodder. That's essentially what the Trinidad Defense Force will be. Just like they used us in the First and Second World Wars, just like they tried to use Africans and Caribbean people in Vietnam and Indian indentured laborers, soldiers. Which brings me to a name everyone should remember. One of my heroes, Muhammad Ali. He refused to go to war because, in his words, I ain't got nothing. I ain't got no quarrel with the Viet Cong, is what he said, unquote. He was jailed. But I remind you, he was proven right in the end. He died a hero, as you know, one of the greatest men that ever lived. And today, 10 audience, we must ask the same question. We must ask the same question. Do we have a quarrel with the people of Venezuela? Or is this, as we know, about one thing, oil? Is this about control, geopolitics? Just like every other American intervention, it goes back to one thing, oil. Oil. And Venezuela has a lot of it, the largest reserve in the world, as you know. Just a reminder. And what's even worse, when Trinidad's Minister of National Security, the joke, was asked about this situation, his response, it wasn't one of confidence or strategy. It's just hot air. Hot air. No pun intended. He said, and I quote, essentially he said, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Here's the video.
The only operation we are aware of is the operations between the units in Trinidad and Tobago. Is a continuous exercise. It's an exercise that continues. It has been going on for years, and I told you that I was always part of the exercise. No, I'm not. So we appreciate what is happening. And you see, what person's missing here is that since these exercises taken place, we have seen a significant reduction in firearms entering the country, human trafficking, and drugs, illegal drugs. All right, so as it relates to any other thing, we don't know about that. What we are sure about is what effect or what impact it is having in a positive way on Trinidad and Tobago.
Then he added that maybe there are fewer guns and drugs coming into Trinidad and Tobago. No evidence of this, zero evidence, no data, no transparency, no reports, no data to suggest that. But he has suggested there are fewer guns and drugs coming into Trinidad and Tobago. Just noise, nothing to back anything he said in that video. Now, that lack of clarity whilst foreign troops operate in our territory, on our soil, should concern every citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. We do not want history to repeat itself here again, but it appears that's exactly what's happening before our very eyes. So let me be clear. This video is not anti-training or anti-defense in Trinidad and Tobago. For those who's going to come on and be negative, this is not anti-training or anti-defense. Our defense force needs training, as you know. They need training, as you know. They deserve better resources and development. They deserve. Everyone unfortunately needs some sort of defense of their country. But there's a difference between training. There's a difference between what's happening now, this so-called training, and becoming a pawn. Because our young men and women are the ones that's going to be pushed out to die for America. So no one's talking about this. And I find it really concerning.
Yeah, it is a concerning factor because they're actually in the middle of something that they didn't create. That's what it is. Like I said, even if they are going to go and get the narcos and all that stuff, but they are literally going to leave the people in the lurch. There's gonna be chaos. It's going to be crazy, right? Like I said, there was already military around when the coup was around and certain stuff was around and certain stuff, but now this one's more serious. It's not like the coup in the 90s, in the 90s or the 80s, whenever it happened, when they was dealing with it from within the country. It's when somebody from outside the country. And yes, there's always something that has to be given. Oil, could be oil all types of materials that needs to come out of that particular country. So they will come in and smoke screen the whole thing and try and make it like they're helping. Like of everything, there's an agenda with everything. You start off a problem and you the one come the solution. But in this case, there is not going to be a solution because the people is going to get hurt. It's going to be in the middle of it. It's going to be in the center of it. Why should they be in the center of a battle that have nothing to do with them? Some people are just living their life, going up and down, doing whatever, selling whatever they can, rubber, whatever. And then this is all going to just come and just throw everything one side. Now, remember when I said that how it's strange because, like I said, people are running from Europe and running to Trinidad, they're running to Jamaica, they're running to wherever they need to run to. I also feel this is a ploy to stop people from doing that. So you can just pack up your stuff and just go to wherever you want to go, right? So it's going to come in a case of like, even when it comes to that, you're not going to be able to move in and out of Trinidad as you would want to and all sorts of things. There's all this thing, you know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. I don't know whether people understand what I'm trying to say. It's a bigger picture than what it is. It's a bigger picture than what it is.
We are now complicit. We are now aligned with America, as you know. But we must not allow foreign interests to drag us into a war that is not ours, especially a war that could devastate the Caribbean, our region, destroy regional peace, and sacrifice our youngsters, our youth, for someone else's agenda, especially that man that sits in the White House in America right now. We could care less about us. So Trinidad and Tobago must decide whether we are a sovereign nation or some kind of military outpost for the United States, which we are slowly becoming under this regime in Trinidad. Because right now, the line is very blurry. It's very blurry. I would hate to see our young men and women sacrifice for the United States. And that's what appears to be happening now. And our leaders in Trinidad and Tobago appears either clueless or endorsing it. And that's my take. That's my take. Someone needs to wake the people up. Someone needs to understand what is going on here. This war is ramping up. It's showing no signs of de-escalating. America is sending more and more firepower. Russia is sending firepower. And China are backing Venezuela as well. Whilst Maduro appears to be calling for peace, ironically. We want to remain a zone of peace. That's who we are. No wars in our region. We have our domestic issues we have to deal with.
That's it.
We have our domestic.
That's it. Hi. How come she ain't got... Oh, hiya, Rokisha. Yes. We have our own problems in there. Every single time there is somebody getting on a live on the road, dismembered, all sorts of craziness. Unless they are in a vicinity. That's what I was saying. Even with the tourist situation. I can't remember. I gave an example the other day. Can't remember the example that I give, but I don't know. That's one of the examples where you are cutting off your nose to spite your face. That's what you are doing. I didn't know Kamala stayed like this. I seen people say, "Oh, Kamala, she ain't good." Kamala is smoke screen by whatever she smoke screen by. She's a little bit like Andrew Holness now at this levels now, because you are literally bringing in the unknown onto your country. You are bringing in the unknown, right? Right? You know what I mean? Like I said, Trinidad is a small country as it is already, right? Why on earth would you want to bring warships, military doing drills, exercising on your spaces? You have nothing to do with what's going on between America and Venezuela, because that's your ally anyway. They're right next door to you. I hope you're okay, Rokisha, because I know you was in an accident not too long ago, you know? You are definitely cutting off your nose to spite your face. Why are you cutting off your nose to spite your face? And I like how this man explain it. This is why I like to listen to some men when they explain certain things, because they look a little bit more deeper than how I would look. Because why would you want to sacrifice your young people to something when all it is about is materials? It's materials. There's no rubber. It's oil. It's gold. We see how it is in Africa. What's going on already in the Congos? How these people, these children, are going in. Fair enough. Even though I use a mobile too, or little things, whatever, they go for the little bits of the thing for the phone in Congo, right? The youth is always the sacrifice in some way. Why? Why would you wanna disturb a quiet? Okay, though the country has this little problem, yes. Don't every country has its little problem? Even here have its little problem. Big old England has their problem, right? But you're gonna go and you're gonna start something that you cannot finish, right? Now, I like how we talk. He said Russia is over this, so China is over this, so this one is over the. You're just caught in the middle of a craziness. You are the pawn in the middle of this. She needs to really think about certain things when she does this. Oh, you're just sore. Oh, I hope you're good though. Let's take time and heal, yeah? But yes, I'm just like, that's so crazy to me. So crazy. And I like it when this content creator, me like him, see, because he explained it. Because I'm thinking myself, yes, it must be a bigger picture. Why would you want to do that? And then you set it up. Oh, we're doing for like I said, the war on drugs was in the 80s, I think it was, when I can't remember whether he wasn't the prime minister. Trump wasn't the prime minister. Somebody was the prime minister, and there was a war on drugs. So what Trump's doing, he's using old tactics from the past to do certain stuff, but people ain't seen it. Oh, yes, he's helping us. He's against human trafficking. Yes, I'm not saying don't be against human trafficking. No, I'm not saying don't be against it. I'm all for it. But at the end of the day, you can't go back to prehistoric times and bring in something into modern day spaces. It's going back so far. Even in America itself, it's going back far. Sundown towns. Sorry, I'm raising my hand and shaking my head. Sundown to all this. So you're bringing all this old stuff back. Are we going back into time now? We're going back into time. Is it like back in the future? We're going back to the times. Like I said, what is coming now, the children is not ready for. Even me, so not even ready for it. But like, you're putting people in situations that they don't need to be put in. I personally, when I ready, I want to pick up and go to Trinidad. How am I going to go back to Trinidad if it's in all this calamity? Then the people there now, there's fishermen, whatever. You see Trinidad start shine now, you want to come take it down. What is wrong with you? Oh, I don't get it. I don't get it. Even in Jamaica right now, they sent in some people, some Americans to help. I'm hearing all types of stories that's going on down over there. It's crazy. What is wrong? It's like the weakest country. Oh, we have to go for that one. Oh, that country's it's shining up too much. Come, let's go after that one. So which one you're going to head to now? Barbados next? What is wrong? Anyways, let me not just go on anyway. Let me not just go on, because I'll be ranting all day. I'll be ranting all day. But like the guy said, the world is a stage. Like TJ said, the world is a stage. But at the same time, it's a stage, a very dangerous stage.
Issues we have to deal with. Let's deal with that. No wars. That's the last thing we need. In any case, should I say, I'll keep my ears to the ground and bring you the best information as possible here on 10. Stay tuned, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on my next.
Hold on. Where's the thing? There's pure craziness going in this world, yeah? Oh yeah, I'm gonna wrench people up. When I finish the live, I'll wrench you up. No, normally I don't like to talk politics. I dislike talking about politics. Politics is the worst to talk about. Like I said, it's the worst thing to talk about. Because somebody will always disagree with you. The worst thing to talk about is religion, politics, and something else. You can't talk about them treating. As soon as you start talking about them treating, everybody get their back up because there's people who's for this BS and there's people who's not for this BS.
Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro has been vocal in his criticism of Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister, Kamla Persad-Bissessar, accusing her of putting the region's peace in jeopardy by allowing American military forces to be stationed off the coast of Venezuela. This accusation comes rising tensions in the Caribbean, where geopolitical dynamics continue to evolve. Maduro claims that by hosting US military personnel just 15 kilometers away from Venezuela's shores, Persad-Bissessar has mortgaged her country's sovereignty. The Venezuelan president asserts that this decision was a grave mistake, one that threatens not just Venezuela's security, but the stability of his words and unacceptable situation. The Caribbean, historically a region marked by cooperation and peaceful diplomacy, now finds itself in the midst of growing division. On one side, there are leaders like Maduro who see foreign military presence as an encroachment on national sovereignty. On the other, leaders like Persad-Bissessar have made decisions that some believe could risk escalating tensions. The deployment of US military forces so close to Venezuela is seen by Maduro as a direct threat, a move that could provoke unnecessary conflict in an already volatile area. Maduro's accusations also highlight his belief that Trinidad and Tobago's decision to host US forces is both a strategic and diplomatic misstep. This has never been seen before, truly never, he remarks, underscoring how rare and dangerous such an arrangement is in the Caribbean. He doesn't hesitate to warn that the Prime Minister's actions could bring serious consequences, both for Trinidad and Tobago and for the broader region. In his view, the proximity of US forces could destabilize the already fragile peace in the Caribbean, a region that has long prided itself on maintaining a level of neutrality and cooperation. He also warns that Persad-Bissessar's actions could trigger a wider geopolitical conflict, one that would affect not only Venezuela, but many other nations across the region. While the political fallout of this issue is still unfolding, the rhetoric used by Maduro speaks volumes about the growing divide between Venezuela and Trinidad and Tobago. For Maduro, this is not just about military presence, it's about the sovereignty and security of his country. He believes that any foreign intervention so close to Venezuela's borders is a direct threat to national security, and his government will not stand idly by while foreign powers set up operations near their shores. At the heart of the matter is the Caribbean's changing political landscape. The region, which has long been a symbol of stability and cooperation, now faces increasing pressure from global powers, including the United States, which continues to exert influence through military presence and diplomatic actions. The decision to allow US forces to operate near Venezuela is part of a larger geopolitical strategy that has far-reaching implications for the Caribbean. For Maduro, the presence of US military forces in the region is a direct challenge to Venezuela's sovereignty. His government has consistently pushed back against foreign intervention, arguing that such actions
I feel like this is just on repeat. Yeah, well, I already said my 5 pence on it. I am not repeating myself again. I just think that this is all those concerns that's in the West, in Trinidad specifically. You lot need to be concerned because what she's doing, she's putting your lives in danger, right? Your lives in danger. Over in Trinidad. I wouldn't sit there. I would sit there and take it. She's thinking that how by bringing these foreign influences, it's going to help the country. It's not going to help the country. It's going to cause more drama, more everything else in it. Okay, but I'm not going to stay on here long. I'm going to keep a watch on this one for sure. It's just ridiculous, honestly. I really don't understand. You know, the powers that be is crazy. So, thank you, Rita, for coming through, and TJ and Rokisha for coming through. And I hope you get better, and I hope you heal safe and stuff. Please leave a comment underneath this video, underneath the live, and tell me what you think of it. You know, I already expressed how I feel about it. You know what I mean? I just did a short one just a while ago, and I did this one because the people couldn't hear. So with that said, I will see you guys later. Take care. Bye. Have a good day. I mean, I'll take care. Bye.